Hello everyone, I'm Greg Otto with FedScoop TV, and this is our IT Modernization Heroes series, and I'm here with Tony Scott, the US CIO. Tony, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So, being in your position, you get to look out across the federal government landscape as a whole. Talk to me about the success stories that you're seeing when it comes to IT modernization.
Well, I think for many years now, there's been a number of really great efforts where people have come in, seen a problem, and addressed it. And a lot of these have gotten press in your publications and so on. But and our USDS teams, as an example, have done some great work at some of the public-facing websites, as well as help fix some of the healthcare.gov issues that we're all familiar with. But underneath it all is a more systemic sort of need, which is to modernize the core infrastructure and some of the heavy lifting applications that run most federal agencies. And while there's been a will to go address some of those, we haven't seen that many examples yet of that really heavy lifting transformation. And so that's the challenge that we're really trying to take on right now.
So with this proposed $3.1 billion revolving IT modernization fund, what ideas or what are the places where you see that if this is to become law, where that money could be injected from day one and make a difference?
Well, the priorities will go to things that have some combination of cybersecurity issues that we want to address, cases where there's inefficient and old legacy technology being used, so there's an economic reason to do it as well. And then the third factor is where there's an opportunity to really leverage scalable things like cloud infrastructure, cloud services, and so on. And that gets to both a economic but also just more modern architecture sort of notion. So the successful projects will be some combination of those, obviously with a heavy emphasis on the cybersecurity side of things.
So as you look out at the federal landscape, what are the top things that need to change if the IT modernization goals are going to be reached and going to be reached quickly?
Well, I think one of the most fundamental things is changing a mindset that we have. And by the way, it's not just in the federal government. This is across large institutions writ large around the world, which is a old model that we had, which was kind of wait till it breaks or wait till it gets really old and there's a crisis, to one that's more continuous refresh and continuing to adopt and leverage modern technology, modern techniques. And so I think that's where this really leads, is more of a, think of it as a flow rather than a point in time kind of thing. And done right, we'll always be evaluating where we're at and what the opportunities are for being better, more secure, more efficient, and more mission serving in a way that probably we haven't done as good a job of in the past.
How have advances in cloud computing and containerization and agile development changed the way agencies are moving with IT modernization, and how do you see that improving what's being done in the next 6, 12, 18 months?
Well, one of the advantages of a cloud infrastructure and architecture is it enables you to run experiments. We call it the A/B test. But it's a technique that's well developed in the commercial world. And we can apply that in government as well. So you can take some competing ideas and say, let's test and see which one of these people respond to better, or which one gives a better outcome. And you can test them at small scale first, and then if you find something that works, you can scale it up big. It's one advantage. The second is just the speed with which you can do things. So I know from my private sector experience that anytime, before cloud came along, anytime I wanted to start something, even if I had the best idea in the world, I had to wait for hardware to show up, get set up, get it configured, a whole bunch of things. And then I could actually start working on the idea that I had. And with cloud and some of the other services that we have available to us now, we can start today, like after lunch or that kind of thing. And you can do more turns of the crank to prove out your ideas. You can either succeed fast or fail fast, but getting that learning is important to getting an end goal. And cloud just helps you in that in 1,000 different ways.
Well, Tony, I know you're hard at work at this, and I appreciate your insight. Look forward to what is coming down the path with this stuff.
Great.